Hey guys, welcome back to Devirai Technologies. This is the bot series on WhatsApp Chat GPT. Let's see where we have completed till now. I'll go to our YouTube channel. So we authenticated with Directline channel and got the Directline token. Let's see our code. This was the controller that we built last time. Let me increase the screen size so that it will be better visible to you. Okay. So in our last video, we got the direct line token and we tested this using a postman. I'll again run this and then we'll proceed further by integrating other endpoints, that is starting a conversation, receiving an activity and sending an activity. I'll just run this application. All right. So I'll just copy localhost 3978. Let me create a new collection so that I'll be making use of that same collection for all my endpoints. All right. So I created a new collection. I'll start a new request. Get DL token. Paste the URL /API/ what's our controller name? It's token /API/token. And also let me double check what's the request type. It is a GET request. All right, so let's hit the endpoint. It says user ID is required. Let me pass some user ID to it. And it seems it's a parameter that we are passing. So let's pass user ID. I'll just say ABC123. And there we have the token for our ABC123 user. So let's move ahead by integrating other endpoints. So I'll go to the direct line API documentation. So we completed the authentication part. This all we have done, getting a direct line token, and we utilized the code from here. This exact code we implemented in our API endpoint in the token controller. So this is the exact same code plus slight modifications. That's all, nothing more. Next, what we are going to do is starting a conversation. So let's go to the next endpoint. So I'll create a new controller for this purpose. And the controller that I'm going to name is I'm going to name this as DL controller. It represents as direct line controller. Okay, let's add some logger. All right, let's go back to the documentation and see how we can open a new conversation. Since we already implemented these in Postman in our previous video, so what I'll do, I'll just generate the token first. Okay, The reason being I need to change this secret here. So let's remove that. Also get the secret from Azure portal, or I think I can get it from here itself. All right. So I'll go back to generate DL token. This I'm directly interacting with Directline APIs. Okay, I need to save this first. Generate DL token. There we have the token available. Let's copy this and paste it here. And also I'm going to copy the conversation ID. So going to open a new conversation. And what else it needs? I think it needs nothing. So yeah, I just sent the request. This is our conversation ID. This is a token. And here it sends the first activity. Okay. So what I'll do is this is the endpoint that we need to call open a new conversation. Direct line conversations are explicitly opened by clients and may run as long as the bot and client participate and have valid credentials. While the conversation is open, both the bot and client may send messages. More than one client may connect to a given conversation, and each client may participate on behalf of multiple users. Um, okay. I need to confirm something here. Let's go to jwt.io. I want to check what sort of information is part of this direct line token. So I'll copy this token. So it has the conversation ID. So this is how it remembers based on the token that what is a user conversation that is being initialized. So this is what it is. Okay. If at all I mentioned the user ID while creating the direct line token, then I should have that details as well in the token itself. So this is the request that I'll be trying it out. Let's do that. User. These are all the optional parameters that I can add. So I'll again go back to the generate direct line token, raw, JSON, paste this, and let's say the ID. This time, let's say user underscore JD123. Let's say this is the user ID, and I'll mention my name here. I just want to see if these details are part of the token or not. Well, you can also add trusted origins, but this will not make sense for us since we are developing locally. Well, I can also add my local host as well for added security. But for now, I'll only focus on user ID and username. Okay. So let's send the request again. Cannot use a scoped. Okay. The reason being I did not save this. Let's save this. Go back to generate direct line token, and there we have the details. So I'll copy this token, come back here, jwt.io, and there we have the username and user ID. So that means it remembers through the token that what user is trying to interact. I think this is the added advantage that I can put just to see what is the name of the user. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'll modify this token controller slightly. We added the user ID. I would like to add the username as well. Okay. And this is the place where I need to specify the name. So user ID, and let's go back here, name. Name equal to username. Perfect. I need to add somewhere. Okay, I think that's all I needed. Perfect. I'll rerun this. I'll go back to my DL token. Go to, okay, it's a param. So I'll just add name. Okay, my param name is username. So my user ID is ABC1234, and the name I'm passing is Jagdish. So let's send it. And I have received it. I'll copy the token, paste it here, and there we have the user ID and the username. Perfect. So this all seems fine, and we are ready to move to our next step. So since we got these details, I would like to save them in some cache memory so that whenever the same user comes back, I'll have to retrieve its token from my cache. I'll also save the expiry of the token so that I don't retrieve the expired token, or if it is already expired, I can refresh it or I can create a new token. Most probably, I'll refresh the existing token. We already have an endpoint. So I think let's implement that in this video. That will make more sense. Refreshing a direct line token. Okay. So refresh a direct line token. So let's implement that. I'll add a new endpoint. Let me double check it's a post request. So I'll also add the post request. Public async task I action result. Okay, so I action. This is really bad. Some disadvantages of using Copilot. Okay, refresh direct line token async. And what all details we need here? So token to be refreshed. A direct line token can be refreshed an unlimited number of times as long as it hasn't expired. So this we need to take care of that. An expired token can't be refreshed. To refresh a direct line token, issue this request. Okay, so in order for me to maintain the conversation, what we can do, For simplicity purpose, let's not implement that piece where we make a scheduler that checks the expiry time of each token, and then we run that scheduler to refresh our token. Let's not go that way. Well, that's the recommended practice that we need to perform, but since I would like to do it really fast implementation, what I'll do, I'll check the expiry date. If it is expired, I'll generate a new token. Okay, this is how I'll going to do. Okay, so let's do that. We need the token that we need to pass it here. So let's say string token, because that is the input that is required for me to refresh my token. Okay, so I'll just check if token is passed. If not, I'll just respond back with bad request. So let's say token is required. I'll say non expired token is required. Okay, let's move ahead. What else we have it here? Yes, we need to initialize HTTP client, and let's add till here. I'll copy the same thing, and it's a post request, so I'll copy the request URI, paste it here. I can also make them post request by passing as a HTTP body, or I can just make this as get. The reason being, I'm passing this as a parameter, not as a HTTP request body. Okay, so that's fine. We have bearer and token. Okay, there we have the similar code. Perfect. And what else we need? I think we don't have the request body, so we can just copy this as it is. I'll modify these options now. Let's say this will be old token, or let's keep that as same name. I'll name this as new token. Okay. The user ID, I will need to check if it replies back with the same user ID or not. For that to happen, I'll need to check the response. Next, I'll just return OK and the new token. This will be new token. Okay. I'll just put a breakpoint here and see if I'm getting back the user ID or not, just to double check. Okay. So let's put a breakpoint here as well. Start debugging. Then add a new request. This one I'll name this as refresh DL token. Again, it will be the same endpoint. Better I'll copy it from here. And here I don't need user ID, I need token. Let's go back to our previous request and copy the token. Go to DL token and paste it here. Nope, I think I did not copy. Yes, let me double check. Copy token, put its value, save, send request. The request matched multiple endpoints matches. Okay, got it. The reason being, I need to specify here. So let's specify generate. And this one, refresh. Okay, I'll go back here. First, I'll update the get DL token. That will be slash token slash generate. And also this will be slash token slash refresh. Okay, I'll need to check this if this is going to work or not. So I'll just, okay, I need to start debugging. Go to get DL token, send the request again. This time let's make this as ABC12345 Jagdish K. I got the token. Let's verify these details in jwt.io. There we have. Go back to refresh token. Save. I'm gonna check the expiry date here. 172 Unix timestamp converter. Okay. So the current expiry date, it seems 1318. That's my local time zone. So that's correct. Exactly 1 hour, my token will expire. Okay. So I'm now going to hit refresh token endpoint. I got the token. Okay. It seems it says 403. Okay. There is something wrong here. It has to come as 200 OK, but it is coming as 403. It says forbidden actually. Let me send the request again. It says forbidden. Okay. All right. So it is coming as forbidden. I'll just get its response. Return. Internal server error. Where is it? Return. Let's say bad request itself. And in the response body, I'll just send as it is, just to verify what is the response that I'm getting. Send it again. Continue. Service error, conversation not found. Let me see. This seems to be fine actually. I have found the issue that we were facing. The issue that we got was conversation not found. And today I found out the reason why it happened. The reason being, immediately after we created the direct line token, we called the refresh direct line token without starting the conversation. But it was not happening directly. When we tried directly while creating the direct line token by calling the direct line API, here we created the token and here we were able to refresh it as well. But not in the case of the one that we implemented in our controller. So unless you initiate the conversation, it is not going to refresh the token for you. So let me just conclude this. Here we are here we are responding with the direct line token, and let's create an object and then send it back. So here I'll create a new object. And I'll pass the token and the new token here. And instead of new token, I'll just send response object. So that is all we need. Let me restart this. I'll come here, create a new create a new direct line token. Here we got the token. I'll pass this token in the refresh DL token. Again, it's a get request and we don't have any body. Actually, I was trying something new. Then I'll pass the token here. Okay. I'll show you the error as well. Here you can see conversation not found. What I'll do, I'll open a new conversation by calling this particular endpoint. To call that, I'll just pass the token here, save it, open a new conversation, send the request. We got the conversation started, and then I'll come here and refresh the token. I'll use the same token, and this time let's send it. And there we have the new token. I'll also check the new expiry. There we have the details. Okay. Let's double check the conversation ID that we have in open a conversation. IDR DZGG. And there we have the same conversation ID. Okay. So this seems to be working perfectly fine, and I'll just validate this one. Unix time converter 1552. 1 minute ago, we created the token and it will expire in 1 hour. So that is all we need, and that's all. Thanks, everyone.